Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of our survival series. I'm going to start doing survival simulators and bringing those to the channel as well. I truly enjoy survival simulators and hopefully you guys have just as much a passion for them as I do, and if not, maybe you'll find some of these videos entertaining and it'll get you into the genre. So stay tuned guys, because hopefully you'll have a little bit of fun with this one. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to be working on bringing some survival games back to the channel. I've done it a few times, but really was inconsistent with it. And then with Green Hell, I might have complained a little too much about the main character. It just, there are things I'm going to do a little bit differently. But we're going to be trying what I find so far of all the survival games I've played to be the hardest one, and that is Subsistence. Subsistence is you're sort of thrown out in just this island world here, and there's tons of animal life and things like that around that you have to avoid. You have to deal with the elements, the water, being cold, hungry, all that good jazz. You're literally starting it. It's like, think of it as, I sort of picture it as a prison, is really, because it's all fenced around anywhere where you can't actually access. There's a big metal chain link fence kind of thing. And so you sort of just like, it's like a forced prison where, if you make it, great. If not, well, good luck next time. And so we're going to experience what it's all about. Now, the one thing I will say about Subsistence, it's a much slower progression simulator than probably many of the other survival sims that are out there. But I really do enjoy it. However, the difficulty can get rather frustrating. I'm not going to lie to you. So we're just going to start a solo game here, and you do have, multiplayer options, especially if you're on a LAN network. I've played with my kid a few times, kind of thing. So let's see here. We're going to set difficulty just to normal. Hunters, these are other AI players, as you can see up there in the top right corner, and you can set them up to, basically they're going to start out in the same condition you are, right? Just sort of with nothing, and then they're going to start building up. I'm going to disable them for now. Now you can have them out there and you can set the way that they attack you, whether it be they never attack you, or they only revenge attack, or they attack at random. Let's see here, a month. Yeah, let's go ahead and leave it for March. Why not? We'll leave it at March. And then days per year, let's go ahead and set that. I'm going to set that rather high for now, just because of the nature of how slow the sim can be, and you guys will hopefully see some of that. All right, and now let's go ahead and get rolling in here. All right, so here we are starting out here again. Animals, like it says here, you do need to avoid. There's supply crates and things like that we're going to be picking up, as well as obviously going through the flora and fauna and grabbing resources from it, chopping up trees. Now, one of the things that I don't like about the tree chopping is I really do hope this gets addressed later on, sort of like what Rust does, or even Green Hell, where the tree will actually come down. I don't think that's available yet. I know there's a new area of the map, but I haven't quite explored that yet, but maybe something that'll be coming down the line. As far as our inventory goes, you're very limited with what you start with. A single apple, 8 rounds for your pistol, total of 9 with 1 in the barrel there. The pistol is definitely not something you want to rely on. You want to try to focus on upgrading or surviving by other means. Now let's see where we're at here. Again, you have sort of the fog of war thing going on, but let's see, we got all this real estate back out over here, and then cave over here. So I know here there's a giant lake here. It would be a good water source. That's typically where I like to hang out, so I'm going to sort of try to point myself in that generalized direction. You want to try to walk as much as possible too. Running in this will definitely affect your stamina, affects how quickly you deplete your bodily resources as far as food, nutrients, all that jazz. So although I would say this is probably the slowest progressing survival sim, I find it to be one of the more realistic. It's definitely one of those ones where, if you try to rush through it, chances are you're going to do something dumb. Now the one complaint that I will say, like as a genuine complaint and not so much as a gameplay critique, my complaint would be is that the animal life gets to be a bit excessive. You got bears and wolves that can specifically attack you, and then mountain lions up there, but the mountain lions aren't too much of a concern. But the bears and the wolves, you guys will see, they're very, very common. They're very, very popular, and it can make it a bit frustrating. Now you can reduce that by simply reducing the difficulty level. So if, for example, we started on easy, if you start on normal, or excuse me, we start on normal, but if you set it to easy, it reduces the animal count, but it also seems to reduce the supply crates, which are very critical. So we're just going to keep it on normal. Hard I found to be just obscene. Again, and it's just the animals again, because they can be very difficult to get away from at times, especially if you don't have the stamina for it. But it is a fantastic simulator. The price, I think, it's been a while since I bought it, but I want to say it's like right around $20 if memory serves on Steam. It's not bad at all. And the overall mechanics of it work out very, very nicely. Certain aspects, some of the graphics, some of the animations need a bit of work, but again, it's a single developer, last I heard, just one man working on it. So, obviously not as a full-time job, So with that being said, I definitely keep that in mind, and I think the efforts of this developer are definitely noticed, and I hope it keeps moving. What's another thing I like to do here with the wood is put it down here so you can get a count. Now, based on the type of tree you hit, you're going to get different quantities. So I think it's 3, 4, and 5 on the really big ones. And on the really big ones, you also get a grub from them, which can later be used to either eat or as a fishing bait, which is what I like to keep them for. Food spoils and all that good jazz, just like you would expect in real world. Later on, we'll be able to, and this will be probably much later on. I thought I heard a growl. Those are mining ores that later on we'll be addressing when we make a mining pick. There's rabbits. We'll definitely grab in that. These are building crates. You'll find some fruits and vegetables here and there, but usually, like there's a bear there. But usually in those building crates, you'll find materials that you'll need later for crafting, whether it be nails or rope or some sort of electronic stuff. But like, for example, there's probably my gripe right there. There's one bear there. There's another one right over there. And I guarantee there's another, probably a wolf or something nearby as well. I thought I saw a metal fragment on the ground. That might be it. Nope, that's just a rock. Okay. Well, I tried. The other thing I'll tell you, if you decide to give this one a shot, is try to stay ahead of the game. You want to be crafting while you're out running around. So you get your wood, and then you can craft your wood, obviously, into other supplies that you'll need to later create building structures, or maybe, arrows for your bows, things like that. So just stay ahead of the game. Make sure you're always crafting something when possible. You'll need firewood later on, so those will be things that are definitely going to come into the picture. Like there's another bear right there. Anyway, so like I said, the animals are definitely something you have to be very, very conscientious of, and that's another reason why you don't want to just go running around sprinting. I do know. I wonder if we are in the new section, because these trees look a lot better than before. I think we're in the new section. So he did a whole new section here where the tree animation is new, and it's only on part of the map. Okay, so the rest of it still needs to be adjusted and things like that. And the chickens, like the one that just ran by there, you can actually outrun them and grab one. But again, you're going to burn a lot of stamina. Did you guys hear that? Ugh, I thought I heard a bear growl again. The other thing is, like, the animals, like the bears and the wolves, if they kill you, they level up. So, which makes them even harder to kill. Their hit points go out. They become more aggressive. They can run longer and faster. So, that part to me is, kind of silly, but that's okay. Like I said, my real only gripe about it is just the animal population, how dense they are. But at the same token, the challenge is definitely welcomed. You really have to think methodically as you're moving through things. Like there's a wolf right there. There's another bear down there. And again, all you have to do is set this to easy. Like there's another bear right down in front. So yeah, the animal density, like I said, is a bit crazy. But at the same token, like I try to think about it like, you know, in the aspect of, you know, it being like a prison in a cage, and you know, that's sort of like the punishment, right? And then so it's not so bad to handle, and you really just have to pay attention. Sometimes it requires you to miss out on items or something you want to get, because if you get too close, you know, the animals obviously will attack you. And a lot of times you get a warning too. So the reason why you always want to listen to the growls is because the first growl, typically, if you're far enough away, thought I heard another one. If you're far enough away, the first growl is like a warning, you know. And then, like especially with the wolves, they might slowly start moving towards you. And so if you just keep on walking and get out of their hair, eventually they'll stop. And the second one, you know, like a genuine roar or a bark, that means they're coming for you. And here we're picking up things like those like medicinal herbs. You got blueberries. Here's one of the larger trees I was telling you guys about. So this one will give us a grub at the end of it too, and we get 5 chunks of wood. You can see there on the bottom left, we got 1 tree grub from that. So really a lot of thought went into this, and these crates are like gold. The problem is, and we'll be discovering that probably at a later day, we'll see if we can get it done today, but these crates have always just like the most awesome of stuff in it, whether it be ammunition, cool tools, tons of supplies. I'm reaching the bottom of the map. I gotta start figuring out a place to park it. You know, I kind of really liked this area over here, but I think we're gonna head back up this way. Yeah, I want to go that way. And let's keep crafting. So we got 5 planks here. Let's do a few more. Like I said, keep yourself busy. Keep crafting throughout the day. That way when nighttime comes, you're ready to go. And we're going to have to build a campfire. You can absolutely freeze to death. You definitely don't want to be caught at night without some sort of heat and protection. If you don't have a house yet, typically you can find like a high rock or something to go and sit on. Usually the animals will leave you alone at night. At night, you know, once you actually have, you know, your house established, or whatever you want to call it, fort, base, etc. At night's typically when I'll do my building. Staying close to the, I want to get that. There we go. I think some of the most critical things to grab in the beginning is you want those fibers that we just picked up. These crates, any of these crates, really, it doesn't matter what's in them, but what you're really after is these nails, because they're critical to build everything else. And you can see my apple here is spoiling. My health is dropping a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and just eat that. And the berries, they're getting close too, so later on there will be some uses for the spoiled food. I don't think there's much right in the beginning, but... And you need vegetables and protein. You could be maxed out completely on vegetables, but if you don't have any proteins, you know, you'll start feeling the effects of that and experiencing that. So it's really well done. Later on, like there's a deer down there, we'll be hunting deer, and we will absolutely be able to kill the predators later on. It's just, we have to get to that point where we have the tools necessary to do so and the weaponry. These big trees, I always try not to pass up. And then the fibers, we're going to make some cordage with it. Good enough for 5, so we'll need some cordage to make the bows. We'll need cordage to... damn it. We can still go get this case over here, which is good. We'll need the cordage to make bows. We'll need the cordage to make some planks and some of the framework for our house. Feathers, those are huge too. Definitely want to grab feathers whenever possible. Obviously for your arrows. And the cool thing about the arrows, it's sort of cool and sort of not. So there's a good and bad to the arrows. The good is that if you miss your target, you have a very high chance of being able to recover the arrow. Eventually they can break. Like if you stick a rock or something with them, a lot of times they'll break. And then sometimes just, after a shot. Now, the bad that comes with that is that if you hit your target, so say we're hunting a chicken, right? Or a rabbit or something, you hit your rabbit, you definitely lose the arrow. So that part I kind of don't like, because what stops you from just extracting the arrow, but again, so I guess, it just increases the difficulty level at that point is all they're looking to do. And again, the developer did a great job with making this difficult. And let's see where we're at in regard to making a bow. I know we're going to need a couple sticks, so let's craft a few of them just to have them on hand. You'll need them from the arrows. You'll need them for... I can't think of it now. Oh, well, you'll definitely need one for the bow, too. You need a couple for the bow. And then later you can upgrade your weapons and things like that as well. A lot of the upgrades are tough, and a lot of the resources are really hard to get a hold of. Depending on how you're doing in the environment. I'm starting to look at potential places to hide or start our hideout, excuse me. Alright, let's go ahead and let's eat a couple of these guys. I'm worried they're going to go bad before we get the chance to, so... Just trying to top off here. Looks like one more. Let's do one more. There we go. That way if we lose one, we only lose the one. Got a rabbit. Alright, and fresh stream. You can obviously drink, but it is dirty water, so you risk infection. But you do have a canteen. You can boil water at night over a fire. The other thing you can do is wash your hands, which is pretty neat. After we butcher an animal, we'll need to. So let's see here. So we have one arrow, which is nice. And they do start you out with that. So let's take a look at making a bow while we're on the move. There we go. So we got our cordage. We got some sticks. Let's craft our bow. Bow is a big thing. We'll also need to go in the water and get some kelp at some point. We'll probably wait on that. Let's see here. Almost got our bow. Let's get our bow. There we go. So I like to move things around. Remember I said the pistol is pretty unreliable as a starting source, only in the aspect that, you don't really have a way to replenish the ammunition in the beginning. And I really recommend sticking to the bow as much as possible. And boom, got him. If you use a pistol or a firearm on like chickens and rabbits, you tend to do, just destroy them. So we'll butcher it. We get 4 new feathers. And then remember I was telling you, we've now lost that arrow that we fired, which is a drag. But I think nope, we do not have any more. Okay, so now here's where the catch is, because we're going to need the nails also to make arrows. So this is where that balancing act comes into play here. So I'm going to make one more just so I have him. We don't really have enough nails to do much with in regard to construction yet. But again, in the beginning, you want to be very, very mindful of how much you're spending and how much you're saving, just like anything else. Sort of your economy of the sim, if you will. And kelp can be found by swimming in the water. There's also an underwater cave, but it's going to be a while before we can get there because you have to be able to make an oxygen tank and breathe long enough to get down that far. Always be really cautious. And I like to just every few steps, every few 100 feet or so, take out a couple trees. Don't try to use your bow and arrow on a bear right out of the gate. I mean, you can. The catch there is that I think it takes like 5 or 6 to bring a bear down, depending how good your shot is. Wolves aren't too bad. I think they take 3, and usually once you butcher them, they yield quite a bit of good product. Their livers can be used for fuel and things like that. The animal fat can be used. But again, just like anything else, you know, you always ask yourself, is it worth the kill or worth saving it? Like the chicken here, we're going to take out because we're also going to get the feather from it, which we're definitely going to need for more arrows later on. I really focus a lot on the arrows. I like the arrows. We got a bear right there. Trying to look for a place that's nice and flat that we can start looking at setting up a camp. I want to be close to the water. I usually like to build like right on the waterfront. Oh, hey, more fibers. These fibers are gold in the beginning, just gold. Fibers, wood, and nails are just critical in the beginning from a resource standpoint. I really don't necessarily want to be here, but I don't really want to play with that bear either. You know, I think if we just maybe swim across at the side. And while we're here, we'll look for some kelp. I think we can put the axe away. And you'll also find large clams under the water that you can later harvest pearls out of that will be necessary. I will tell you, sometimes getting out of the water can be a real pain in the ass. But that's okay. I will also tell you something that I'm terrible about remembering to do. Save your game periodically. When you start feeling like you're getting a good foothold, you start feeling comfortable, like, yeah, all right, this is going to be nice. Save. Save. So on normal, like we're playing here, if you die, you will respawn at a completely random location on the map. And then you will have 15 minutes to get back to your body and salvage your kit, basically everything that you had on you when you died. If you don't make it back to your body in time, well, then it's over. Or if you die again, both aren't available. It gets replaced. So save often. I will tell you that. Save often. That way you can always get back to where you were and have a good location to start from. Now we have that chicken right there. I think we'll go ahead and take out one more chicken. Nope. See, I'm not going to chase him. He's running too far over there. Near those 2 clowns. But I'm going to keep an eye on them. It's like that wolf sees me. Let's just sprint away, shall we? There we go. Alright. The animal life can be... It really makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck. That's for darn sure. This is kind of a pretty place to start. Kind of like this. Some pretty flat turf. Plenty of sun. And when you want to think about... of course, we're all the way in the back. I don't know that I wanted to do that, but let's see where we are. Oh, yeah, I literally did... Well, I mean, I guess that'll kind of work. Well, you know what? I actually think I want to cross. I think we're going to go for another swim. Oh, here, there's some kelp, so you guys can see that. And you can see the auction bar up there up top. So you want to be real careful how long you're in the water. Kelp and a couple other items can be used combined to make a fuel starter. It's also got a few other purposes, which is nice. Now, this is actually a really convenient little island here, in the aspect that the odds of one of the animals swimming over here to you are probably pretty low. But we still got a bit of daylight left, so I'm gonna hold off from that right now, but maybe we'll do some chopping. And you know what I haven't seen, I don't think there's a way to do in this particular simulator, is sleep. So you like, you know, if you wanted to sleep through the night and wake up, you know, when the night's over, I don't think you can do that. So that's why I say, you know, save a lot of your construction and things like that for nighttime, because it'll keep you busy. Speaking of nighttime. And let's see where we're at here. Let's go back to our crafting menu. Make some cordage. Let's grab a couple more of them. Still got plenty of sticks on board. Arrows. It looks like we're down to our last bolt. More fibers. Looks like that berry finally spoiled, although I don't know what happened to it. Maybe it just fell out of the bags. And we are getting hungry, so it's just about time to eat here soon. And you do start with that protein bar, I think, on the normal mode, but I don't think on hard you do. I think on hard you really got to sort of just fend for yourself. We do have a bear over there, but I think we'll be okay. Sort of park it here. Looks like we're better attached to the mainland here. Sun's getting ready to go down, but we still got time. Oh, no, we're at the fence line again. I can't remember if there's a way to disable the map fog or not. It's just another one that in a game like this, I don't know if I think it's necessary kind of thing, but, you know. Got a wolf and a bear. Come on now. Ah, and of course the wolf's standing right next to a crate. That sucks. Now the nice thing is, okay. So for example, that wolf is definitely in our way, but it's very likely that after we camp for the night, that they'll be gone. Now, not a guarantee. Don't bank your money on it, but definitely high probability. Let's put it that way. I think we are getting ready for nightfall, so this is probably a good time to set up camp for the night. So let's go down. Let's go back down and do that. I think that was a good spot down here to sort of camp it for the evening. Not too close to the water. All right, so let's take a look at making a campfire. So now the first night you have a match, so it makes it real easy to get your fuel. So the first night is very easy. And then tomorrow night we'll talk about something else. So like here we go, we need another stick. So let's craft one of those. Okay, now let's craft our fire. Or our camp setup, if you will. Okay, so we got that now. Oh, and it's down here on our toolbar, so number 7. Let's just set that down right there. Now E to open. Now we're going to need some fuel. So we're going to grab your logs in the beginning to sort of drag them over here. You can see we still have a ton of them, 77. And then for ignition, you're just going to drop that over here and then just ignite. And now let's throw our chicken on here so we can eat something here. We're going to go ahead and take a drink of our water. Okay, while the chicken's cooking, we're going to come down here to our water, right click and fill with water. And you can see it gets that nasty brown color. It doesn't have that pretty blue color that you would expect. And that's because it's bad water. So we're going to throw that on the fire. Let it boil all the junk out of it. Shotgun shells, pistol shells, and things like that. You just want to sort of hold on to those for now. Remember what I said, the pistol ammo is not particularly reliable. The protein bar, you know, unless you absolutely need to, I recommend just holding on to those. Hold on to those, because you don't know what the night's going to bring, kind of thing. You can actually eat the kelp, which give us some fruits and vegetables. Metal parts. And there's our chicken done, and there's our water boiled. So what I like to do with the water, we're going to go ahead and take a drink, top it off. Let's go ahead and eat our chicken. Let's go ahead and eat both of them. That's why I grabbed two. Chicken breasts don't do as much as you think they do. All right, and then we're going to come up here, refill our water for the night. And let's throw that back on. And let's see if we can start making a foundation. Looks like, oh, missing. We need 12 nails. So we're not going to be able to build anything tonight, unfortunately. But this is what we're really aiming for. But we're a ways away from being able to do that just yet. But hopefully soon. And so like we could get a couple proteins from there, but yet you lose the hydration from it. So now we're right next to the water, so it's a good time to do so. But we're just going to hold off for now. All right, that water's good to go. And then always make sure, even if you plan on abandoning this campsite, you know, you're not planning on coming back, always make sure to clear your ash out in the morning. You know, whenever it's all done, whenever it burns out, take your ash, because you're going to need that later. For example, perfect example is gunpowder. You're going to want that. So it's a big one. But anyway, guys, that's going to be end of day 1 in Subsistence. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little series. We're going to be doing a lot of these in between the flight sim stuff. I do want to make it very clear, flight simulation isn't going anywhere at all. It's what the channel is based on, and that's not going to change. But just adding a new twist and continuing the Overkill Simulations line here, if you will. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you guys did. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.